When you thought the service was over, she was getting ready to do the offertory. I'm like, I feel like it's almost complete. It's a good thing I took out a whole bunch of this. So I'll try to rush through. Which isn't going to happen. So I want to give you some words. I want to give you some words because I want to receive those words. So this whole month, we have been practicing the art and the science of our spiritual teachings, of this science of mind, of new thought, of this deep spirituality that we practice here. And why do I say practice? Because it involves practicing both an art and a science. Because it involves the qualities of art, which are fluid, flowing, creative, feeling, passionate, energetic, alive, as well as the science of it, which are methodical, formulated, repeatable, reliable, and systematic. There is a system to this, the way the laws work, the way we consciously use them. This is the science. This is the science part of our spirituality. And this month, we are practicing both of these. So, and we're using it in the context of a current challenge. So every week I've been asking everyone to have, because I know we have a challenge or two in our lives. Am I wrong? If you're alive, if you're walking, maybe you don't. But you will. Not putting it out there, but it's life. We learn, okay? So our conversation today will be around that challenge that I've been asking you to bring. If you haven't been here, bring one to mind, something you would like to shift in, something you'd like to shift in. Because this talk is all about empowering your power, which for those who are very savvy in our New Thought teachings, you can't empower the power. We're talking about divine power that is the essence of who we are. But stay with it, because the statement is a bit of a paradox that we're going to get some clarity around today, I promise you. Because we don't in actual reality, have to do a thing to empower the power within us, except to consciously recognize it and to know that it is there always for us, to connect with it on a deep level. So Ernest Holmes, in one of my, like Veronica said, all of these great books that Ernest Holmes is just, he rings so true for me, everything he writes. So I'm using this thing called You. And in this thing called You, he wrote this: the greatest adventure of your life lies in your conscious use of this power. You need not believe any particular religious system to discover the wellspring of life. You find it at the center of your own being, in the quiet of the evening, in the stillness of the night, in the dawn of the day, and in the midst of activity. It's omnipresent. Divine essence, which is who we are, is omnipresent. It goes nowhere. We are all a part of it. Take away this physicality, and we are still there. We're just not in physical form. So today we will look at using this power. Or said another way, we'll look at empowering this power to create that conscious connection with the source of all life, and to experience any challenge that life may offer us in a more empowered way. Not just accept it blindly. There are things we can do that change everything. So where do we start? Where do we start? Only one place to start, right? Right here, right now. But first and foremost, we must have a willingness in us to change. Take that one in. We must be able to look at the way we are approaching life, the way we are handling our current challenge, the things that we think and say, the way we behave, and without any judgment or criticism, because that's the worst thing we can do, is to judge or criticize ourselves. There's enough of that going on all around us. So for us, it's about loving ourselves and just recognizing where we might be able to shift. And to know that the good that God has in store for us is always present, and to be willing to assess whether the things in our life, the way we're dealing with them, is working for us or not. And you can ask yourself, and I talk to clients, I talk to myself, is this really working for you? Okay, if you're doing something the same way over and over again, and not even realizing that there's a pattern, but you see the outcome is the same, the feeling is the same, is it working for you? If it's not, maybe there's a different way of looking at it. Could be, but are you willing to change? Many of you are aware that my foremost challenge, well, I'll just go into it now, I've got a little support going on here today, but has been, look at how I'm moving, for those of you who have been here every week, okay? Yeah, I have straightened my scarf. My biggest challenge in life is to have a straight scarf. I have been unable to really walk and stand up straight. And I have always done it on Sunday here because Spirit is through me when I'm in front of the microphone, but then I get up and I'm like this. But it is improving each week. And so I'm like, well, you know, what can I do in my life that would change this pain, the sciatic thing? What could I do that's different? You know, and I keep hearing the same voice telling me, which is the divine voice, telling me what to do. You got to get in the water. For about 2 years now. Got to get in the water. Okay, I haven't gotten in the water because I don't like the water. I don't like doing the whole bathing suit thing. It's a whole thing. And so I've been in such resistance to this. So finally, I am in so much pain because I always need that really heavy 2x4 to whack me. I'm like, all right, I'll go in the water. So I have next Monday an appointment with a physical therapist for aqua therapy, and I will be doing that 2 times a week. She might say 3, but I'm saying at least I'm going to get in the water. So the thing is, I asked myself, is it working for you the way you've been doing it? Obviously it wasn't. So am I willing to change? Yes, I am. I'm making that commitment before all of you. I am willing to shift my thinking right here, right now, to do what, for some reason, my ego doesn't want me to do, but I'm going to do it. And so this is what I'm inviting all of us to do in our everyday thinking. Take that little shift. Listen to the voice that is telling you, usually all along, but we don't really want to do it. We don't want to change. We don't want to change. So I know that by doing this change that my entire health will improve. But back to our talk, C.S. Lewis once wrote, this is really good. It may be hard for an egg to turn into a bird, but it would be a jolly sight harder for it to learn to fly while remaining an egg. We are like eggs at the present, and we cannot go on indefinitely being just ordinary, decent eggs. We must hatch or we will go bad. Doesn't that make sense? Change is about hatching, isn't it? It's about hatching. And if we don't hatch, we go bad, and we go bad by being stagnant, remaining in the same condition, repeating the condition over and over again. What a concept. Change. Big concept. But the ego doesn't like change. But change, most of the time, especially if it's coming from that indwelling voice, is leading us into a better way of living this life. I love Edwene Gaines, and she's a great writer and speaker. I love her work. And one aspect of her goal-setting process is particularly appropriate for us this morning. See, she suggests that after we identify our goals, because we're all about intentions, we're all about goals, we all hear this constantly, the Hay House is having a whole big huge conference saying the same thing that I'm saying up here through different people, which is great because we all get it in different ways. It's so wonderful, it's inspiring. But she suggests, this is great, that we pray for the change within us to allow them to manifest. So we're not praying for the goal, we're praying that we follow the change that it needs to manifest our goal. That makes sense? Yes. It just shifts it a little bit. And it's a shift, and I'm using the word shift. And yesterday, most of you know Bob Simer and Dale Allen Hoffman, so I'm texting them. And I'm texting Bob, and I'm like, well, I mentioned to say hi to the shift shaper. Then I texted him back and I meant shapeshifter, And then I thought about it. Shift shaper. I looked it up. It's not in the dictionary, so maybe I did finally make up a word. I'm always trying to make up words, and I find out everybody else is using them. But a shift shaper. Are we shaping the shifts in our lives? We do this through our consciousness. Let's be shift shapers. Why not? So here's an important question. What did you come here with this morning? And what are you willing to change? Think about that. Something in your life you might be willing to make. It could be small, large, it doesn't make a difference. Perhaps that change means to leave something behind. Perhaps it means to have a new thought about that current situation. What did you come here with this morning? What is going on in your life that you came here with this morning that if you were willing to change it, you just might hatch into something quite spectacular? Has it been working for you up until now? If it's been working, keep it. So I'm going to throw out some possible thoughts. These are possibilities. Could be a belief that you feel that you're separate from God. A belief that God is judging you and punishing you. That the challenge you're undergoing is God's will. A belief that God will show up for everyone, but not for you. There's a power available to everyone, just not quite for you. This is beliefs, I'm throwing them out there. A belief that you, no matter what you do, will never make it. You'll never be good enough. A belief that the world is too far gone to save. A belief that your problems are caused by the government, your former spouse, your parents, and go on, name them all, etc., etc. If it weren't for them, this would not be happening. I found out the hard way. The same things are happening, and I have no one to blame. I've said this before, because I'm living alone now. I don't have anyone to blame. Whoa, talk about self-responsibility. So those are just some examples, and maybe you have some examples also that, you have in your mind that you can work on. So I invite you to think for a moment and ask yourself, what did I walk in here with that if I changed it, my feeling of conscious union with the absolute essence of love itself, God itself, divinity itself, would be strengthened. I would be able to create anew for myself because I would be aligned more cleanly and more clearly with that one power, the creative genius, the infinite artist of all life. Everything is contained within this omnipresent power of divinity. What is it for you today? And you don't have to answer that out loud, but are you willing to make a commitment of heart? If so, say this after me. I commit to making a change.
I commit to making a change.
Again with more gusto.
I commit to making a change.
All right. In this thing called you. The universe is hearing. No. Just committing to making the change is powerful. This is a little long, but it's so good because this is Ernest Holmes again. Everything thing you have ever thought, said, done, seen, learned, or experienced has left an imprint upon your subconscious mind. This subconscious also contains memory images of your family life, your ancestral background, and the sum total of what the whole world has thought or believed. These memories are not dead things. Quite the reverse, they are always active. But there is more to it than this. Just as you are being acted upon by your own memories, the mind of history, and your environment, you are also being acted upon by the mind of God, which is within and around you. And between the divine presence, this upper part of your being, and your outward experience, there is a field of subconscious reactions which have been gathered up throughout the ages. But you are a creator, not a creature. Today you may be suffering from the effects of the consciousness of the ages and your own beliefs, but today you can begin to change them. This is why I love Ernest Holmes from the very first time I read him, because what he speaks of are universal truths that run through all religions. If you take them to the purest part of what they are, there is a God, we are part of this divine love, and we are eternal beings. And that's what this commitment to change is all about. So let's do this one more time. I commit to making a change in my life.
I commit to making a change in my life.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And now that we have created that opening, because it's an opening, by letting go, we create an energetic opening. And you know the universe, God, Spirit, whatever you want to call it, abhors a space. So it fills it with its good. And so immediately it refills this space with truth. So repeat this after me. Let's be shift shapers. You don't have to repeat that. Repeat this after me. I know that I am one with God.
I know that I am one with God.
I know that God in me is perfect.
I know that God in me is perfect.
I know that my real nature is spiritual.
I know that my real nature is spiritual.
I know that I exist in bounteous good.
I know that I exist in bounteous good.
In a heavenly state.
In a heavenly state.
And in perfect being.
And in perfect being.
I know that my mind is being acted upon.
I know that my mind is being acted upon.
By pure spirit.
By pure spirit.
Divine intelligence guides me into peace, happiness, and success.
Divine intelligence guides me into peace, happiness, and success.
Into joy, love, and perfect life.
Into joy, love, and perfect life.
And that's from this thing called You by Ernest Holmes, yet again. That's on page 61 in case you wanted to know that. So it's having this consciousness that God is in and through everything that gives you the feeling of connection by truly believing this. That's what empowers your power. Your belief. It is by knowing the Spirit is right where you are at all times. And the very essence of your being is this glorious intelligence, this bright light of divinity. Knowing it is at the center as well as the circumference of your life. Really knowing this. And then these words from Science of Mind are at the crux of our work here this morning, short. I must set myself right with the universe. I must find the way back to the central fire if I am to be warmed. I must find the source if I am to be supplied. I must be like God if I wish to realize God's Spirit in my life. I must be like God if I wish to realize God's Spirit in my life. There's a whole sermon right there in that one sentence, truly. But for today, what do we need? What do we need? We need the faith of God, not the faith in God. This is in our practitioner teachings and is such a powerful point. Because the faith of God is unified. It's oneness. It cannot be divided. But the faith in God, it implies that there is a separation. I'm believing in something other than myself, something outside of myself. When the faith of God is believing that you are capable of all good, you are capable of anything that your mind can dream of, you can achieve it with the faith of God. As Jesus said, all these things whatsoever ye pray and ask for, believe ye receive them, and ye shall receive them. It is the emotion of completion. That's the wholeness that we talk about. The wholeness, there is nothing missing in divine mind. And that brings us into that faith of God rather than just the faith in God. In your consciousness, in your heart, and in your mind, recognize that divine work is already done. It was done in the beginning. It was done when we came in. It will be done as we leave these physical forms. It's eternal. 2 + 2 has always equaled 4, but the truth of that statement only applies when we recognize that, when we learn that, and our awareness of that principle. The telephone, the airplane, laser beams were possible millions of years ago. But they awaited a vehicle to reveal this divine governing principle. The law of electricity has always been there. We had to learn how to use it. All music, all art, all literature already exists. We simply need to learn how to open our minds, our hearts, our souls to that influx of divine creative ability to come forth. And I think of Beethoven, I think of all the most incredible of very young ages. They were already open to receive this divine influx. The music was in them already. I've heard really gifted musicians say, I didn't write the song wrote me. I didn't write the book wrote me. Something within them, something within them. God's work is done, finished and complete, but it is forever unfolding in our experiences, in our awareness. And to the proportion and to the degree of our faith of God, it is revealed. And it's to bring ourselves in harmony with that truth. That's when we say we're in the flow. I'm in the flow of life. It means that we're aligned with this great frequency, this energy of love. Remember that the universe is conspiring to bring about your good, always. It's for us, never against us. Above every blade of grass hovers an angel, whispering, grow, grow, grow. Pay attention. Look for the good. Look for the ways in which your life can unfold in the most beautiful manner. In every moment, in every experience, make a conscious choice of how you will respond truly. How you will respond. You don't have to respond or react the way you always did. You can make a conscious choice of, no, I'll take a breath. That breath's so important. And bring myself back to center and make a conscious choice that serves my highest good, because the universe, this infinite divine energy, is for me always, always. So make this choice to move into alignment with God's higher frequency, with that energy of love, wholeness, peace, joy. It's right where you are. It fills you, it is you, it truly is for each and every one of us. Make that choice today. Empower your power by allowing and releasing and accepting and embracing divine principle that truly everything is unified in this world. And so it is.
And so it is.